Hey, vets and families, welcome to the Therapist Explains VA Mental Health Disability Ratings series. This is your guide to understanding how the VA decides claims for PTSD, anxiety, depression, and other mental health conditions. Listen, if you're a veteran and you're battling PTSD or depression, you know that the fight doesn't end when you hang up the uniform. So I'm approaching this series both as a veteran who's lived it, all of these some of these concerns, and as a trauma focused therapist who has counseled others through it, and I'm still counseling others through these mental health concerns. That means you'll get a unique perspective, a lived experience, and I'll back it with research and clinical insight so that you can navigate your claim with clarity and confidence. Listen, VA mental health ratings are based on 38 CFR 4.130, the general rating formula for mental disorders. It's how your symptoms are translated into percentages ranging from 0 to 100%. And so we'll break down each diagnosis using the DSM-5-TR. This is the same manual that therapists and the VA use to define mental health conditions. I got one right here. You'll see exactly how your symptoms align with VA criteria and how to strengthen your evidence. Every episode that I do is going to include a DSM-5-TR overview of the condition, a research highlight, a proven VA claim strategy, and then some practical steps to help you build a strong evidence-based claim. You can also download my free guide. It's the VA Mental Health Claim Self-Assessment and Decision Tree. This is linked in the description and it's pinned in a comment. This is going to help you organize your symptoms, match them to the VA rating scale, and then prepare for your C&P exam with confidence. If you or another veteran needs immediate help, please call the Veterans Crisis Line at 988 and then simply press 1. You are never alone, and you've got help in this fight for your mental health and for your well-being. I want to be along on the ride and along on the journey with you. So before we start, let me give you a quick disclaimer. This content is for educational purposes only. I don't give legal, clinical, or medical advice. Royal Rock Counseling and Consulting LLC is not affiliated with the VA, and we don't prosecute claims. We do help you understand the process and connect you to qualified professionals if necessary. If you find this content helpful, please like it, subscribe it, hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. Your support helps this channel reach more veterans and families who need clear, trustworthy guidance and advice on mental health and VA claims and things that can help their families live well and live well. So thank you to everybody who's already subscribed and commented and shared. You're part of the community helping veterans take back their voice, their health, and their future. So without further ado, let's begin your journey toward a fully developed VA claim that's informed, confident, and empowered. These videos aren't going to be that long, but they will all help you live royally and live well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the series. Hey vets and families, in this video we are going to talk about rating for unspecified anxiety disorder, and that is code 9413 in the 38 CFR. And so what is unspecified anxiety disorder? As we try to define things on this channel, this diagnosis is given when a person experiences significant anxiety symptoms that cause clinical distress or impairment but do not meet the full criteria for a specific anxiety disorder. You'll notice that this is sort of under the class of unspecified anxiety disorders that are exhibiting some of the same symptoms but don't meet the full criteria of symptoms that are listed in the DSM-5-TR. So, for example, panic disorder, GAD, social anxiety disorder, unspecified anxiety disorder would not meet those clinical symptoms. It's a catch-all code when there isn't enough information for a more precise diagnosis, or when symptoms from multiple anxiety disorders are present but none are predominant. There's a key characteristic, and that characteristic is the presence of disabling anxiety, symptoms that impact daily life without fitting neatly into another diagnostic category. So whenever a clinician is seeing symptoms that don't meet all that, so just to give you an example, it might be A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. In order for a patient or a client to meet all of those, to meet the criteria for that diagnosis, they have to meet every single one of those letters and every single one of those frequency modes in the DSM-5-TR. If they don't, you cannot diagnose them with that particular condition. And so that's exactly what it's saying. All right, so the DSM-5-TR code is typically 300.0 unspecified anxiety disorder. And the core diagnostic features are clinically significant distress or impairment in social, occupational, or other important areas of functioning. You'll see and note some of the same or similar diagnostic symptoms or key features under this particular condition as well. Symptoms can cause genuine suffering and interfere with daily life. Anxiety symptoms can include generalized worry, apprehension, restlessness, difficulty concentrating, muscle tension, sleep disturbance, irritability, or avoidance. Again, some of the same symptoms that you have noticed from before. An important note here is that the unspecified nature does not make the condition less severe or less eligible for VA compensation just because it's unspecified. Okay. The focus still remains on the severity of symptoms and the resulting functional impairment in work and social settings. So as always, I've got some research from Steenkamp and Company, a peer-reviewed article that was done in 2017. And it says research highlights that generalized anxiety disorder, which we've covered, GAD, often shares symptoms with unspecified anxiety. And it is highly prevalent among veterans with lifetime rates up to 15.6%. Critically non-PTSD anxiety disorders like GAD are frequently underdiagnosed in military populations. Imagine that, underdiagnosed again, or misattributed, making service connection challenging. And here's why unspecified anxiety claims are tough. They lack a specific stressor, which often there isn't one dramatic event, but rather a cumulative effect of military life stressors. For example, constant readiness, deployments, family separations, chronic low-level threat. And then there are documentation gaps. General anxiety is frequently dismissed or not thoroughly documented in service treatment records. We have seen that over and over again with a lot of these mental health concerns. Just not enough documentation in the record as a result of not enough clinicians or what have you. And therefore, the veteran winds up not having enough information or not having enough evidence to do what they need to do. And so that's the case. Another thing is documentation gaps. General anxiety is frequently dismissed or not thoroughly documented in service treatment records, making a clear nexus difficult to establish years later. Misinterpretation. Reviewers may incorrectly perceive unspecified as minor or less impactful. Remember, we were saying earlier that just because it's unspecified, it does not make it less compensable by the VA. So this overlooks the real occupational and social impairment that it causes. So let's round up the claim strategy. Parts 1 and 2. By now, this should be very familiar to you. Obtain a clear current diagnosis for this particular unspecified anxiety disorder. Undergo a thorough mental health evaluation by a licensed professional. Even if the VA lists it as unspecified, your current provider might have a more specific diagnosis if warranted. For example, they might have GAD if warranted. Have your provider complete a disability benefits questionnaire or for mental disorders detailing all of your symptoms and their severity. Establish the all-important nexus. Okay, this is the second step. This is the most critical part of your unspecified anxiety. You need a nexus letter from a private medical expert explicitly linking your anxiety to your military service. If it's true, and if you don't have strong enough evidence, you can try to get a nexus letter. Focus on cumulative stress. The nexus should argue how the totality of your military experience, deployments, daily pressures, specific events caused or aggravated by your anxiety, even if there isn't a single traumatic event. Okay. An amalgamation of events, a corroborative of events, okay, can give you enough evidence to link it to your in-service injury event or illness. Corroborate with records, provide any personal records, buddy statements, or military documents that highlight periods of stress or early symptoms during service. You'd be surprised at what kind of evidence you can find. If you look for it, you'd be surprised what kind of records may have been lost. It happened to me. There were records of mine that just didn't make it over because they were paper records at first. So if you do a little digging, you'd be surprised of what you might find in your personal files. And then claim strategy 2 is to maximize your rating. Ratings are based on impairment, not just diagnosis. The VA evaluates how your anxiety symptoms affect your social and occupational functioning. Remember, we talked about this before. Social impairment, occupational impairment, daily living. Okay, look at this one. Sleep disturbances, irritability, restlessness, physical symptoms, muscle tension, stress at work, difficulty concentrating. All of these symptoms should be familiar to you. You want to aim for the higher rating. There's your 50% rating there. Um, it's the same criteria as what we talked about when we talked about panic attacks and agoraphobia. 70%, same thing. And then 100% rating. TDIU is possible if there's social impairment due to severity of symptoms, making gainful employment impossible. Provide detailed lay statements and potentially a vocational assessment that can be done all sorts of ways with many different tests. This is the summary of the claim for unspecified anxiety disorder. Hey, best and families, that'll do it for this video. A huge announcement that I have for all of my subscribers and anybody else who's out there looking for veteran content. I don't want you to miss what's coming in November. Starting on November 1st, I'm going to be doing 30 claims in 30 days. Every single day, I will break down a different VA disability claim, explain the rating criteria, evidence strategies, case law, and insider tips to help you in your claim. Veteran Day live stream, I am going to, on November the 11th, be live streaming from my channel. It'll be the first live stream we've done on this channel. I want you to join me right here. I'll be answering your most common VA claim questions. I'm going to be sharing updates straight from 38 CFR and M21-1, and I'll be taking your questions in real time. Don't forget to download the free mental health assessment and decision tree. It's located in the video description and in the first pinned comment. Thanks for watching, guys. And remember, live royally and live well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. If you want any more information about the subject of this series, be sure to check out the playlist right here. And remember, live royally and live well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.